and we recognize that we are alive. We understand that there is a lot to give the Lord thanks for. And today I must say that I'm very happy to be here in the house of the Lord on this another Sabbath day. Even moreover, on this, the Family Life Day. And I must let you know that we as individuals, we love the family because we understand that the family that prays together stays together. Not only that, we are all a part of the family of God. And today it is indeed a good feeling to be here in the house of the Lord to worship with you, my fellow brothers and my sisters. Today I want to thank Elder Lou for her kind words of introduction. Indeed, it is a blessing to be here time and time again. And I'm certain that this is not my last time here, because I believe that the Lord will have me here to worship with you another time. And I also want to thank those who are joining with us, Pastors Dixon and Pastor Brown. We want to welcome you to Scott's Pass today, and we hope that we will see you again sometime in the future. And also to those who would have blessed our hearts tremendously in music, in the persons of Sister Anita and Candice Lowe. We want to thank you for blessing our hearts today. Indeed, we enjoy good music, and we love when we hear individuals ministering for the Master. It may not be through preaching or to otherwise, but whatever is it that we can do, we will do it all to the honor and to the glory of God. Today is indeed a very special day, as we will be looking on the topic, Lovers Living Lovely. I just have one proposition for you today as a church. My only request today is that the family will sit beside each other today. As today is Family Day, I ask that the family will sit beside each other. So whether it is an immediate family as it relates to mother and father and children, husband or wife, we ask that you sit beside each other today at our family life. Amen? And close friends. And we know that we are all a part of the family of God. For those who don't have their family with them today. Before we begin our message, I just want you to repeat after me an affirmation for every Bible teaching. I want the church to repeat after me this morning our affirmation for every Bible teaching. The devil has a counterfeit.
The devil has a counterfeit.
I am what I am.
I am what I am.
But I know what I can become.
But I know what I can become.
If the Bible says it,
If the Bible says it,
I will accept it.
I will accept it.
And that settles it.
And that settles it.
For Jesus came
For Jesus
to
came
seek and save the lost.
to seek and save the lost.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are indeed grateful for this another opportunity where we can come into your courts to hear a relevant message from you. I pray now that as I avail myself to speak to your people today, that you will use me as your manservant, that I may not have seen or heard, for you alone will be lifted up, be exalted and be glorified. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen. Today I must let you know that I'm very happy to be here on this Family Life Day. I'm not certain if I'm the most qualified or suitable individual to be speaking about the family. But nevertheless, I want you to understand that the message is not coming from the preacher, but the message is coming from the Lord.
Amen.
We're looking at the topic today, Lovers Living Lovely, because we want individuals to know that individuals should be living lovely, especially in your family. They should be living lovely. I want you to understand today that the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 31 The word of God says what? And God saw what? Everything that he had made. And behold, it was what? Very good. And the evening and the morning were the what? Were the 6th day. Even though everything was good in creation, it is recorded in scriptures that there was one thing that was not good in the beginning. Are we still with me today? I want you to realize that when Adam looked around, he recognized that the hen had its rooster, the lion had its lioness, the bull had its cow. But I want you to understand that he realized that he was left without a feminine counterpart. That the Bible stated in verse 18 of chapter 2, and the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should what? Be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. Are we still living today, brothers and sisters? But I want us to understand that I don't know how some persons are living alone, when the Lord have made it known clearly to us that it is not good that the man should be alone. Are you with me? You need someone by your side. Is the church still back? When you come home from a long, stressful day at work, you need someone to talk to. You need someone to comfort you and to help you to relieve some of those stress. I know you don't expect the preacher to tell you how to relieve this stress. Amen? But what is hard for me is when you have a stressful day at work, and then when you go home, it's another long, stressful day at home. That is a problem. Are you with me today? That is the reason why when we are choosing those who we want to be with, we've got to choose them wisely and allow the Lord to help us to choose. Are you listening to me, brothers and sisters? The Bible says in Genesis 2, verse 22 to 24, then the Lord God what? Made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the womb. To the man, the word of God says that the man said that this is what? Now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of what? That is why a man leaves his what? Father and mother, and is united to his wife, and they become one in the flesh. One flesh. But if the word of God is telling us that we should leave father and mother, well, why is it that we have individuals who are still there? I want you to realize that some time ago I told my mom that I won't be around forever. And I want you to understand that following back biblical principles, I would have left there. Not saying that I won't go back to visit. And so I want you to understand that following biblical principle, the Bible says that we should leave, not forsake. Are you with me? Leave mother and father and to cleave unto your wife. But I will leave the cleaving part alone for now. Amen? But there are some individuals, when there is a little problem in their relationship, they move to live with their parents. Are you with me? And sometimes they are there for weeks, for days, or even for months or years. Their parents is as bad as them. The parents will run them back to one fixed thing to their spouse. Now listen to me. Run them to go and work out their differences. Now listen to me today. Then we have some parents who are dictating how your marriage life should be. Am I really talking to God's people? It is sad to say that, unlike Adam, we don't have the privilege to have our wives custom made for us. And as a result of that, we have to go out there and search for our spouses. Are you listening to me? But while we are searching, we've got to understand that there are each individuals of different personalities. So you will find those individuals who are pretty. Are you listening to me? They are pretty on the inside, and also they are pretty on the outside. God bless everyone who can find someone who is pretty. Then we have those who are pretty ugly. They are pretty on the inside, but they are not so pretty on the outside. Are you listening? We can work with those individuals as well.
Yes.
Then we have what we call the ugly pretty. Now listen to me. They are ugly on the inside, but they are so pretty on the outside. I want to share with you a story that one of my friends some time ago looked at me and said, I wanted to look at that young lady. I said, what happened to her? He said to me that she looked good from far. But when you get a little closer, she looks far from good. I'm not showing any words to anyone this afternoon. Amen, someone. But I wanted to understand that someone said some time ago that is there someone that will eat an icing cake that only consists of icing? The icing is sweet. It is good looking. But if there is nothing between, it does not have substance. And so I want you to realize that when you are searching for someone, you're not searching for someone who pleases the eye on the outside, but you're searching for someone who is as beautiful on the inside as they are on the outside. But along with these three categories, we have those who are categorized as ugly. Or in other words, someone would say they are the double ugly. Now listen to me. I want you to understand that you stay as far as the east is from the west, away from these persons. But I want you to realize that when you are seeking someone to be in a relationship with, there are several processes that involves dating. Are we still in it today? But while you are dating the person, someone said that it is very good when you go to the person's house early in the morning. Now listen to me. Because you want to see what they look like when they just wake up. Then we understand that sometimes you have some individuals who put on all different type of makeup and all different type of hairstyle. I want you to understand that someone said that some persons have what is called HBO, hair borrowed from others. And there was this individual who wanted to catch a particular lady. But it is said that when you take out a few of the hair, put it in the microwave, it will catch them. But the person recognized that every week the person comes to church looking better and better. He just couldn't understand. But then he realized that it was not her that he was sketching, but it was someone from Brazil, because she had in a Brazilian hair. And so we understand also that, especially in this time and age, someone said that when you're dating, you've got to take the time out to take that person to the beach, because you want to see what they look like when all the makeup are washed off their faces. I want you to understand today that the man, while the man is the head of the house, the woman is the heart. Are we still with me? And you understand that the brain and the heart are two vital organs in the body, which simply means to me that the female and the male are two vital persons in the family. Are you listening to me? They may have various responsibilities, but they are working together for one goal. Are you listening to me today? And so sometimes when we are there dating and pursuing individuals, you've got to make sure that be careful of these dark corners, because as someone said that a chemistry between you two can lead to a biology. Am I talking to God's people? But the Bible says in Proverbs 12 verse 4 that a wife of noble character is what? Her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like what? Decay in the bones. Do we know what decay in the bone is? It is very painful, but we've got to be careful of the individuals who we invite in our lives. I'm talking to God's people today. But I want you to understand that some of these individuals, they are so unfaithful that they messed up their marriage and sometimes messed up their entire life. Now listen to me. Because individuals don't believe that they are only for their husband. But I have a question to ask such a person today. When they give it to John, Tom, and Harry, what is left for your husband? Someone said, what left? But that isn't God's ideal for the family. Am I talking to God's people today? Gentlemen, ladies, be careful of the wives you choose. Because she can either make you or break you. There is a saying, though, that behind every successful man is a good woman. Am I talking to God's people? Then there are those who are looking in the wrong places for their wives. But jump with me to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. The Bible says what? Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship and righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion and light with darkness. I want you to understand that you cannot mix light with darkness, because basic physics will tell you that light repels darkness. Don't make the same mistake that Samson made, because we saw how it destroyed his life. Choose your wives, and ladies, choose your husbands carefully. You can't only marry someone because of their good looks, or because they have the cocoa bottle shape. But I wanted to understand that there was this individual who was married to his wife and happily living. But there came a time when he went to the counselor and said to the counselor that the woman that I've married is not the same. He said, what are we talking about? He said to the counselor that she doesn't shape the same way she shaped. She's looking a bit fatter. But I want you to understand that when a woman starts to bear children, the shape that they had will deter from the original shape. So the counselor looked and said and asked him a solemn question. Who did it to her? Yes. But one thing I want you to note, in Genesis 2:19, the Bible says what? And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. So we understand from Genesis that God gave Adam work before he gave him a wife. How am I talking about? Amen. Some of us don't even have a monthly salary. We don't even have a trade. But yet we are thinking about getting married. The question I would like to ask today, how are you going to be able to provide for the family? How are you going to be able to maintain your children? Then there are some females who want a husband and can't even cook pasta Dixon. They can't even wash. They can't wash a plate. Listen, they can't knead dumplings. They will burn the water. Am I talking? They will tell you that the nails is so long and they just can't do some chores. But I'm not saying that the man should assist in these chores. But I want you to understand that if you're not ready to do these things, or you're not ready to consider marriage, am I talking about marriage? The Bible says here in Proverbs 19 and verse 14 that houses and wealth are inherited from whom? Parents. But a prudent wife is from the who? Lord. It's from the Lord. The Lord knows how to give good gifts to his children. Can you identify with me in that statement? Yes. Then we have those, when they get married, they leave their wives and go all over the places. Am I talking to people? But the Bible will remind you today in Deuteronomy 24 and verse 5. The Bible says that if a man has recently married, he must not be what? Sent to war or have any other duty laid on him. For how many years?
1 year.
For 1 year, he must be free to stay at home and bring happiness to the wife he has married. This is not the word of the preacher. This is the word of the living God. Am I speaking to the children of God? The Bible says that you've got to spend time with your wives and bring happiness to them. I can't tell you now how to bring happiness to your wives. You have to figure that one out by yourself. But what a joy it is when you spend time with your wives. Somebody is wondering how the preacher know all of these things. But I want you to understand today that if I have a long house, a big house, from this point to Montego Bay, It has many rooms and many beds. My wife and I will be in one room and one bed. Am I talking to me? I want you to understand today that I want the church to realize that no matter how much conflict that you find yourself for the entire day, there is no way you can go to sleep together in the same bed, in the same night, and still love each other. Am I speaking to someone? Amen. Because when certain feeling arises, all conflicts will be resolved. Imagine you are in one room and your wife is in another. And when you feel a certain way in the night, you have to go over to knock on the door saying, honey, I feel a certain way. That's not what God's intention is going to keep. But I want you to understand that to get married doesn't cost. It can work out without it cost anything, because there are individuals who are having expensive weddings but a short marriage, and vice versa. Am I speaking to you? All you need to get married is just the marriage officer, you and your spouse, and 2 witnesses. Am I right, Pastor Dick? I want you to understand that that is the only thing that it takes. Listen. But when you are married, you now have certain responsibilities. Am I speaking to God's people? The Bible tells us in Ephesians 5, verse 22 to 33, the Bible says here, wives what? Submit yourselves to who? Your own husbands, as you do to the Lord. That doesn't mean that you will be bullied. Am I speaking to you? It means that you will cooperate. Am I talking to someone today? Because there are some individuals in this world today that will tell you that they will stay with their husband even though they are being beaten. Because some of them will say that it's because he loved me while he beat me. Am I talking to someone? But the Bible says here in the next verse, it says, for the husband is the what? Is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives to what? Submit to their husbands in everything. The Bible says here that husbands love their wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. The word of God says that in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves who? Himself. And after all, no one ever hated their what? Own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. I want you to understand that the dominant figure in the relationship, some persons, I want you to understand that their individuals will say that the husband is beating them. But I want that to realize that that is not God's intention for the family, for each other to abuse each other, because that is domestic abuse. But there are some ladies who will say that the best sex they ever have is after the wife day, because there are some men that actually get beaten from their wife as well. Am I speaking to someone? I just got to be fair. There are some men that are getting beaten. Am I speaking to you? And there are some men who will take the beating. Because they will say that the best sex they ever have is after the wife beat them. Because the wife is not making up for it. Am I speaking to you? But the Bible says here in Joshua 24 verse 15 that you've got to command your own soul. But there are some persons I don't understand. They can't control their own, but they want to control church. Yes. Am I speaking to you? Some will argue that the only reason they stay with their partner is because he or she performed well in bed. Am I speaking to someone? But a lot of individuals will miss their wives after they abuse them daily when they realize that she left and they can't cook. Am I speaking? And when they want something they can't get it. Am I speaking to someone? But I dare to tell someone today that when you are married, you are legal to do certain things. Am I speaking to someone? The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 7 verse 1 through 9 that now for the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman, but since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relationship with who? His own wife, and each woman with her what? Own husband. The Bible says here in verse 3 that the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have what? Authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Am I speaking to someone? Yeah. Your bodies are no longer yours. And the Bible says here in verse 5 that, do not deprive who? Am I talking to the people of God today? The Bible says that do not what? Deprive each other, except perhaps by what? Mutual consent, and for a time, so that you may devote yourself to prayer. Then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Am I talking to someone? Because we have individuals in our society today who what we call lock shop on their partner. But someone will say that when you lock the shop, the goods will expire. Am I speaking? I say this as a concession, not a what? A command. I wish that all of you were as I am. But each of you has your own gifts from God. One has this gift, another has that. Now to the unmarried and the widows I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do. But if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to what? Burn with passion. Paul is saying to us today that it is better you stay single than married to someone that is going to make your life miserable. But it is better you married than when those feelings occurs. You don't know what to do. Am I speaking to someone today? Because Ellen White would state in her book that masturbation is self-abuse. Am I speaking to God's people? But God gave the command for married people to have sex. The Holy God gave the holy couple his first commandment. Thou shalt have sex. Be fruitful and what? Multiply and fill the earth. In Genesis 1 verse 28. But I want you to understand that God created sex with benefits that has 4 dimensions. Number 1, it is for procreation. It is for bonding, it is for pleasure, and it is for parables. But can I educate the young ladies that are in the house today? There are some men who will come to you, whisper sweet things in your ear, and say that they want to try the goods before they get married. But because they don't want any puss in the butt. But you've got to stand up boldly and declare that this puss craw, am I speaking to somebody? You've got to say to them that this a puss a craw. That no ring, no thing. No bed, no bed. Am I speaking to God's people? No thing. Yes. There are some individuals who are speaking about friends with benefits, but none of that in God's church. Amen, someone? But when you treat your wives good in the days, they will return the favor in the night. Am I speaking of someone? They will sing the song 600 to you. That sweet promise is given to all those who believe. Behold, I come quickly. Mine own to receive. Hold fast till I come. The danger is great. Sleep not as the water. Be watchful and wait. Hold fast till I come. Sweet promise of heaven. The kingdom restored to you shall be given. Enter my joy. Sit down on my throne. Bright crowns are in waiting. Hold fast till I come. And as someone said that, it is like slippery when wet. Am I speaking of someone? I wanted to understand that there was another friend saying that when he looks at his wife, it is like he wants back his bone. Am I speaking to you today? But I want us to realize that he said that whenever he's playing with his wife, it is like they're there and you're speaking in tongues and teeth. Am I speaking to someone? I want you to understand that it is a joy when you find that special person. You should play with your spouse. Some person wants to dictate how you deal with your married life. But what happens behind closed door will stay behind closed door. Yes. The Bible says rightfully that marriage is honorable in all. And the bed undefiled, but warmongers and adulterers, God will judge. Am I speaking of someone today? You don't get in married people's business. The Bible also says in Proverbs 5, 18 and 19, may your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. I want to realize that it is one man for one woman. I was speaking to you. The Bible does not support polygamy. The Bible does not support homosexuality. Am I speaking to someone? I don't understand how is it that a man looks at another man to lust after him. Am I speaking to you? The Bible says that if a man is caught lying with the next man, the same he would with a woman, it is an abomination. The Bible also does not support bestiality. I want you to understand that when you're married, it is a commitment that you make between God and your spouse. Don't put yourselves in places where you will be tempted. Some person may say that, but suppose I'm strong. But I want you to understand that if you're saying that, you might as well be living in a fool's paradise. Because you made this commitment, it is death that do you part. But what are you thinking about divorce today? The Bible tells us vividly in Matthew 19 and verse 8 that he said unto them, Moses, because of the what? Hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. Am I speaking to someone today? And I urge every Seventh-day Adventist member to refer to the Seventh-day Adventist manual as it relates to marriage and divorce and remarriage. Am I speaking to someone? I remember some times ago while I was still there in the university, one of my friends came to me and asked me to give him some advice as it relates to pursue a young lady. I said to him that I will go and compose something for you and get back to you. And so I went home and I got some inspiration and I've composed what I call the 6 months plan to pursue a young lady. And today I just want to give you a synopsis of what it is like. Am I speaking to you today? Yes. There are 2 ways that leads to marriage. There are what is called arranged marriage, where we have the bride system or the dowry system. Also, we have the romantic love, which is most popular in the Western society. But this plan is more on the romantic love concept, where the individuals have the freedom to choose their partner based on romantic love. For compromise, you may want to seek the advice of your parents to have them involved in the decision-making process. But even though this is a 6-month plan, the months may not necessarily be taken literally. Because sometimes you got to go to a next month, sometimes you got to take more than a month to complete one stage, etc. And the 6 months plan may not necessarily work on the person you admire, as that may not be the plan of God for your life. Am I speaking to someone? But in instances like these, you may want to abort the plan and move to another person, because, as they say, you cannot force water up it. In this plan also, you will see the need to advance to a next month or to put them into a previous month. Though this plan is written mainly for males, because in our society it is said that it is the men who do the chasing. But females can also adopt these principles in this plan. It pursue the individual they are interested in. It is advised that you go where the type of girls you are interested in would normally be. We will also seek the advice from God, your parents, and our close relatives before making a decision. Then we move to month 1. Admire her from afar. In month 1, you will be doing your background checks, historically and otherwise, as you seek to know more about the person. And it is very important to note that in this process, you will not mention anything to the person you're interested in, or let them have the slightest clue that you are admiring them. Am I speaking to someone? Then in month 2, you admire her from near. It says in this month, you are now going to let her know that you have been admiring them in several ways. The recommended one is a direct approach, because someone said that a young lady likes when a man is bold and can come to them directly and let them know what is going on. The second way in which is the old school approach, where you compose a letter and send to the person. I remember when the individual was testing out this 6 months plan, that he wrote a letter, put it in an envelope, and delivered it at the NCU post office. And someone told the young lady to go and check to see if she have any mail. And she went, she saw it, and she read it. Am I speaking to you? Then we have professional approach, whether by email or otherwise. And also we have others through electronic means, etc. Then in this month you will compliment her. You'll be yourself. You'll be a man. Always greet her with a smile or a hug. Do things that she will be comfortable at this stage. Ask her direct questions such as, what is your name? Where are you from? And sometimes it is wise to ignore, as someone said. Say hi to her and just walk away. Let's keep her thinking, wondering if this guy is interested in you. Keep the conversation at a minimum. End most of the conversation with her yourself. Allow her to think that you are not interested and is interested at the same time. In other words, you confuse her a bit. Allow her to do some of the chasing. Ignore some of her calls, some of her texts, etc. Become friends with her close friends. Take careful note of the times you are getting from her. And don't get too personal at this stage. And don't rush things. Am I speaking to someone? Yes. In this month also, you observe 3 elements to see the type of love she's developing for you. Whether it is the intimacy part of it. Intimacy is emotional component. Whether it is passion. Passion is desire for sexual interaction or commitment, a conscious decision to love one another. And after, of course, we understand that intimacy plus passion equals romantic love. Intimacy plus commitment equals compassionate love. And passion plus commitment equals fatuous love. Then we move on to month 3, where we become her casual friend. Keep the friendship at a casual level. Just treat her like a regular friend. Don't invade her personal space, because females get scared when a guy comes at them too hard. Take your time to allow the friendship to develop naturally. Give her space to think about you. Tell her about some things that you love. that when she sees these things, all she can think about is you. Then month 4 says to become her formal friend. I hope the males are taking note. Identify their temperament at this stage. Whether they are sanguine, which is the leader, the sanguine, someone who is boisterous, whether they are choleric, leadership, phlegmatic, easygoing, or melancholic, the perfectionist. It is suggested that a sanguine person do well with a phlegmatic person, and a choleric person do well with a melancholic person. After realizing that you guys are compatible, you can now make it known to her that you are seeing her beyond just a regular friend. Then we move on to month number 5, which we call dating. So in this month, take her out on many dates. It is suggested that the first date would be taking her not to a movie, because it's a getting to know each other date. You want to take her somewhere where you can sit and talk with her. Avoid lonely spots, because after all, we are still Christians. Amen? Bring her flowers. Compliment her with no vague compliments. Be spontaneous and plan ahead of time. But there are different forms of dating. We have the traditional one where culturally defined gender role scripts. Girl waits to be asked out. Boy picks her up from parents' home. She is late, allowing time for parents to chat with boy. He pays her everything and brings her home before curfew, going steady after a few days. We have the contemporary, which is casual dating or hanging out, in other words. The male or the bride service. Usually older American men seeking younger wives from disadvantaged regions often complain that American women are too independent, too demanding, and too critical. We have the professional matchmakers such as lawyers matching wealthy men with pretty virgins. We also have speed dating. For example, 8 minutes dating encounter may be at a restaurant, moving from one table to another. And also cyber dating, such as dating sites, SDA, dating site, black singles, Facebook, etc. But after dating individuals for a while, you can go to his or her parents and let them know that you have been dating their child for a time and have decided to court them on a more serious level. Let their parents give you their permission. You can also take that person to your parents for your parents' permission, and or someone who is your role model to give you their blessings or their pausing. Am I speaking to you? But while it is okay to date many persons, when you are transitioning to the courting process, it is only one person you will court at a time, because this is a more committed stage. You may transition to this stage by various forms. But there are different forms when we are transitioning. We have what is called the endogamous filter, the homogamous filter, and the complementary need filter. This is a filter process whereby a potential mate must pass through 3 filters: endogamy, homogamy, and complementary need. The endogamy factors are similar social backgrounds, homogamous factors, similar characteristics. Complementary need is where you will observe to see if you both are compatible with each other. Then along with that theory, you know what you look for in a person. You can draft up your own rubric with these characteristics you are looking for and see how much of them he or she possesses. Then we move to month 6, courting, or in other words, we say she's mine. So in month 6, this is where you ask her to be your girlfriend or boyfriend, etc. Make sure that God is in the center of your relationship, because the couple that prays together stays together. Then there are 4 types of love relationship. We have the complete love, equal portion of all elements. Self-giving love, where commitment is dominant. Friendship, where emotional intimacy is most dominant, and infatuation, where passion is dominant. And these are my references. I want us to understand that the Lord loves family, and He will want everyone to become a part of a family, because that is His intention for His people. After all, that was one of the institutions in the beginning. But today I want to see if we have any married couple in the church today. Are there any married couples in the church today? Amen. Okay, since we have no married couple, I want you to understand today that the Lord loves family. And the Lord will want that every family to put Him at the center of your lives, to make sure that He is there for them, so that we understand that if they are close to each other, and with Christ in the center, they will be close to Christ as well. I want to let you know that the Lord wants every family to become successful. And so we've got to earnestly seek after Him, and He will allow you to become successful. God bless all of you today, and enjoy the rest of the Sabbath.
Amen.